out they come, the Queensland team. Those boos have just gone up because they've announced the referee, Mr. Kevin Roberts of New South Wales. By skipper Ray Price. And if ever a team walked into a lion's den, that's the New South Wales boys here tonight. The Queensland team, and with the exception of little twinkle toes Kerry Boustead, what a thumping big back line it is. Meninga, Miles, Close and Lewis, all solid big men, and all eyes as usual on number 6, the scheming Queensland 5'8", Wally Lewis, shooting to become Australia's Test captain when the team is announced later tonight. The Queensland pack, rough and tough, all top defenders, with a real enforcer tonight in the front row. Keep your eye on him, number 13, big Greg Dowling. New South Wales and the Parramatta connection dominating the back line. Big Eric Groth, Ella, Kenny, Sterling, and with their brand of pace and class, they'll be planning to run their heavier opponents right off their feet. In the forwards, again, New South Wales looking the more mobile of the two packs, with pace to burn in second row as Wayne Pearce and Noel Cleal. The Blues have a rookie hooker in young Rex Wright of Newcastle, and right now, no heart will be pounding faster as he faces football's ultimate moment of truth. Ian Maurice.
Thank you, Michael. Well, it's a drama-charged atmosphere here at Lang Park, with a capacity crowd and pressure on these newcomers to this standard of football. There's nothing like this in the world, believe you me. Referee is Kevin Roberts. Last-minute instructions to the opposing captains, Wally Lewis from Queensland and Ray Price from New South Wales. Toss of the coin. Wally Lewis has won the toss for Queensland. And there is the results of State of Origin matches played to date. Queensland has dominated, but look at that at Lang Park. 5-1 at Lang Park. Ray Price directing instructions to his side, and there are a number of young players in this New South Wales side that have never been to Lang Park in this sort of match. And if they're feeling the tension, so are these fellas in the Queensland side. Certainly they've had more experience overall at these sort of matches than New South Wales, but the tension is just as great. And this is the man who will try and dictate the play for Queensland tonight, Wally Lewis, freely tipped to be announced as captain of Australia tonight. Meninga, who's been sadly out of form in Brisbane football, but it's these sort of matches that bring the best out of the big fella. Referee Roberts blows time on. The State of Origin series is underway. Colin Scott brings it out from the in-goal area. Canescu. Borton. Met by Cleal, losing the ball. New South Wales have it. Kenny. Here's Ella. Close has him. Meninga over the top. Eric Groth, dummy half. Kenny, now Craig Young. Look at the Queensland defence. 3 of them, and referee Roberts has issued a caution, and it's against Dave Brown. Dave Brown, number 11, watch him. Oof! A right uppercut. Jack Gibson
Well, Brown let a cheap shot go there and got found out. So he may have surrendered 2 points for one hit.
Well, Ross Conlon is one of those fellows who's playing his first State of Origin match here at Lang Park as a coach regarded as the best in the business. Jack, what would you have told these young fellows who are playing their first game here at Lang Park?
The only thing I could tell them is to remember how good they are and how they got to made the team in the first place. I wouldn't be experimenting with any thoughts on the opposition. Just get the job done.
Here's Conlon, and it's there. New South Wales hit the front, 2 points to 0 after a minute and a half here at Lang Park. Frank Stanton will be all smiles. Just been announced as Australian coach. Here's Gary Jack, first touch of the football in State of Origin football. Sterling, now Thompson. Caught though by Dowling. The Queensland defence swarming in. Now Ray Price. Rescue around his ankles. Is Sterling trying to catch Scott out of position, can't do so. Scott's lost it, but it's gone behind him. No, referee Roberts has ruled a knock on. Listen to the crowd. The big packs are about to take each other on for the first time in the scrum. Sterling leads and wins. And here's Thompson. Lewis over the top has jolted the ball clear. Wayne Pearce has recovered for New South Wales. Craig Young caught by Niebling and Fullerton Smith for Queensland. Sterling, Steve Roach caught by Fortin. Now Sterling, Thompson, Price leaving it behind him. Anybody's football picked up by Sterling. Referee Roberts allowing play to continue. It's gone over the touchline. Now Roberts ruling the knock on. As the packs take each other on, and there are the respective weights, little between the two packs. Murray has it at the scrum base. New South Wales lead 2 points to 0. Boustead playing it. Fullerton Smith just inside New South Wales territory. Brown. Price and Roach in there to hold him. Queensland moving it. This is Miles. Last tackle signal for Queensland. It's with Lewis. Trying to catch Conlon out of position, and he's done it. Well, he's a great tactician, Wally Lewis, but Ross Conlon caught out of position, Jack.
Well, he had a fine kick. He shaped and he found the boundary just as he wanted to.
Scrum back down on the 22 now. New South Wales into the ground. Referee Peter Cross, and coming down is the verdict on Rex Wright, so the penalty goes Queensland's way. That brings up the roar. Lewis kicking for touch. Penalties one apiece. Canescu. Set move from Queensland, but the New South Wales defence there. Roach already doing a lot of work. Queensland running up hard through Fatty Vaught, loses the ball. Noel Creel with his first touch. Nice dummy, Noel Creel. Good run. Will Murray up high, Dave Brown down low. Sterling. This is Roach. Right. A long way from the coalfields to Lang Park. Thompson. Sterling. Little chip. Dived on, missed, and White falls on it for New South Wales. Queensland made a mess of it. Penalty again, though, to Queensland. Talking to Murray. Referee Roberts making sure he's going to take full control of this match. Still having a bit to say as Lewis kicks for touch. Canescu, Lewis, Murray. This is Fullerton Smith. Tackled by Sterling. Dave Brown. Dave Brown out of one. Taken by Price. Fullerton Smith dummy half. Running hard Queensland, and this fellow Dowling is a giant. A specialist second row, but in the front row tonight. Niebling. Niebling taps it forward and goes again for another 4 metres. Inside the 22 now, New South Wales, Queensland. Here's Lewis, puts the bomb up. Nice high kick too. Thumped down by New South Wales. The Blues will come away with it. Pierce. Right dummy half. Roach. Instructions were he's going to take it right out of some open spaces now. Good run from the young fella. That'll settle him down, Jack Gibson.
It was a fine run. It wasn't the run, it was the backup, and he put himself into position to receive a ball. That was a big play.
Nice ball from Craig Young into Pierce. Craig Young has a little bit of blood out of the nose too from that earlier whack. Kenny out to Conlon. Wrapped up Conlon though, losing the ball too. Kerry Boustead will come up with it, but he's bundled into touch. Right on the halfway line, just into Queensland territory this one, but Roberts says we'll have it again. Murray, Queensland ball, Lewis. Meninga out of one. Gets out to Gene Miles. He's been the form player in Brisbane this season so far. Good player. Meninga. The big men starting to combine, but plenty of defence from New South Wales with Kenny underneath, Young over the top. Queensland now through Murray. This is Dowling, big and strong. Lewis. It's Niebling. Arthur Beetson sporting a beard and a very disappointed man not being selected Australia's coach today. Wants to prove a point tonight. Loose ball and a shoe. Referee though who's given the penalty. We'll see that again. Lewis taking the ball up. Price over the top. That was the penalty. This is Sterling now, back live. Conlon. Boustead wraps him up. Gary Jack. Sterling. Referee again, this time to New South Wales. Queensland inside the 5. Dowling was the man who was the main offender.
South Wales already leading 2 points to 0. Conlon, who has been an outstanding kicker in Sydney football, has certainly a long kick here. He's about 8 metres inside the Queensland half. The important thing, of course, is to ensure that if he misses the goal, that the ball goes dead, because they'd get that back from the ensuing drop kick. It's a long way for Conlon. And it's a lovely kick from Ross Conlon. What a beautiful kick. And Queensland are trailing. New South Wales lead 4 points to 0 at Lang Park. We'll be back shortly.
Can a team of Sydney men take on the world and win when half half of them seem twice your size. There's no beg your pardon, this is no kindergarten, and what's more, there's no second prize. Well, the game's pretty tough, but it's even enough till you go snap, say surprise. But lose is a word your team's never heard, and there's hope as long as there's time. Well, it looks like you're done till you grab the loose one, and you're off like a shot for the line. Go, go, go! Might be too late, but you're sure feeling great when you're in, just like Flynn for a try. How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel?
South Wales lead 4 points to 0, and Queensland in possession just inside the New South Wales half. This is Dowling. Ionescu is the dummy half with Vaughton. Now it's with Lewis. Back inside for Brown. Shoulder charge from Cleal. How quickly the New South Wales forces rally. Here's Miles. Miles in the clear. Miles to the corner line. Inside pass for Buddy Vaughton. And Queensland are there. Paul Vaughton in to score alongside the post. Well, put that down to Gene Miles. He's the formed footballer, in fact, in Brisbane. He got out of that tackle. Look how quickly Vaughton sensed the gap there. He was there to support him. The pass from Miles was a beauty. And Paul Vaughton over alongside the post to level the scores at 4-all.
It was an extremely explosive run. But again, Vaughton inside backed up to take advantage of Miles' tremendous run.
Well, Ray Price laying down the law to his side. Now here's Meninga, who's been out of action as far as the kicking role is concerned with a groin injury. I saw him kick last Wednesday night and he was very ordinary, but this is a pretty easy one for him. Oh, and he's missed it. Well, that will do Meninga's confidence no good at all, and Arthur Beetson has another puff. It's 4-all. And Mal Meninga will be regretting that kick, I'm sure. Unsuccessful conversion attempt of Paul Vaughton's try. And now Queensland bringing it out via the try scorer of Vaughton. He's got Scott in support. Scott, though, is grasped just outside his corner line. This is Dowling. Picked up by Scott. Now with Meninga. A floater for Boustead. Boustead over the halfway mark. New South Wales defence is able to bring him down, though. But Queensland running quite freely. Here's Murray. Now it's with Lewis. Now Miles again. Miles into the clear. Steps inside Ella. But caught from behind, though, by Pearce. Queensland attacking with Lewis. A floater for Meninga. To Boustead. Steps inside Conlon. The pass is back inside for Meninga. Now Ionescu has it. This is Lewis. Murray. He's lost the ball. New South Wales come up with it. And New South Wales and Queensland locked at 4-all.
Wayne Pearce taking it up for New South Wales inside their 22. Eric Groth takes play outside that deadly area. This is Roach. Niebling, Ionescu, the tackling twins for Queensland. Back for the clearer from Gary Jack. Well, it's been a great start now from Queensland, Jack.
Well, they crossed the stripe once and only bad defence for New South Wales got them in this position. They're behind now. Or are they? It's at 4-all. Yeah.
Big defence from Craig Young comes up with the ball for the Blues. As Price goes upfield. Back to right. Price hurt in the back play too. This is Young. Noel Cleal. Cleal with a lovely ball up for Sterling. No, it's Gary Jack. Now back to Sterling. But the referee says we'll have a penalty. Having something to say. Wally Lewis is having a bit of a chat. Also pointing at Gene Miles. The crowd don't like that one. Ross Conlon. Well, Jack Gibson, there's no point in talking back to the referee.
On that occasion, there wasn't any dividends for Queensland.
Ross Conlon, of course, such a valuable asset on his side with his kicking boot. They can't give him any penalties at any range.
Well, I'm not going to entirely agree with you, but he doesn't run the football as well as a couple of wingers down in New South Wales, but he certainly kicks it better than any.
Going to the Queensland chant, up go the flags. So New South Wales now go further ahead, 6 points to 4 over Queensland. Miles quickly kicks off for Queensland. Sterling gives it to Groth. Groth winds up. Groth over the 22 line is Groth. Oh, and some big defence coming in from Dowling. Also Canescu. Young. Wright has done nothing wrong so far. This is Roach. Nice ball up too for Pearce. The Balmain duo combining well. Frank Stanton, the new Australian coach. Peter Moore from Canterbury, the manager of the New South Wales side with him. As Thompson quickly gets it out to Kenny. Kenny wrapped up by Murray. Cleal. Cleal. Dowling doing a lot of work with Brown. Thompson, dummy half. Back for Sterling. The kick. Straight up and down. Up they go for it. Oh, juggled ball and Collins got lucky. Gene Miles. What a start to the game Gene Miles has had. Oh, and plenty going in. Canescu. Back to Murray. This is Dowling. They say he's the toughest prop in Brisbane. It's Canescu. Lewis with a switch of play. And now the runners come through. Miles with a good pass. Can't be handled by Close. Fatty Morton picks it up. Ooh, puts an elbow up too. Hard player. The kick from Queensland. Stabs for the line. It's a good kick too. Oh, it's a beauty. That'll take play just about 10 metres out from the New South Wales line. Wally Lewis, the General of Queensland. New South Wales feed. And a New South Wales ball. The crowd not happy with it as Jack brings it back out. Bounces out of one. It doesn't make any territory for the Blues. Ray Price. Oh, plenty of swinging arms. Fullerton Smith, the tackler. Sterling. Oh, and Pearce has put it down. This will be a Queensland ball. The tug-of-war match going on for it. We'll see who comes up with it. My tip's Queensland. Wally Lewis has come up with it. Assist Eveling. Borton. Murray. Murray. Oh, lovely ball up for Scott. Scott opening him up. Great defence from Kenny. Brings him down. They're only metres out. Queensland. Gene Miles. Wrapped up this time. The Maroons on the boil. This is Canescu. A metre out. Murray. Murray selecting runners. Canescu standing. Pearce underneath. Sterling over the top. Murray. Up goes the bomb. Almost backwards. Taken by Lewis. But it's stepped up by Ella for New South Wales.
Oh, desperation tackling from New South Wales, Jack Gibson.
Well, I had goal line defence, that's a crucial play, and I think time of possession is going to count at the end of this game or in the second half. which team has possession of the ball for the longest period will win it.
Here's Eric Groth. Now it's Young. Along the back line through Pearce, now Ella. Last tackle signal for New South Wales. The Blues lead 6 points to 4. With Roach. Craig Young trying to kick. It's been charged down by Queensland. Referee says play on. And Queensland on the charge again with Brown and Vorton. Just inside the New South Wales quarter. Niebling. Caught around the ankles by Pearce. Canescu showing it to Dowling. 12 metres out. Lewis. Back to Murray. Linking up with Miles, but he's gone without it, and Kenny can't handle it. So a scrum will go down, only about 15 metres out from the New South Wales line. This is Murray. That pass to Miles, if it had been able to take it, Jack, it would have been shut the gates.
It was over, but the scrums are going to feed. No.
Penalty against the New South Wales hooker, Rex Wright, blocking the tunnel. And young Wright, a huge jump from country seconds to a game like this, Jack.
The referee must think he's short of experience. He just gave him a short coaching lesson.
Now Queensland launching a set move with Canescu coming away with it. Just short of the 10-metre mark, it's with Lewis. Back into the forwards, but over the 10-metre mark. Canescu to Murray. Now Dowling. New South Wales defence equal to the occasion. Now Meninga feeding it away to Thornton Smith. Lewis, long pass for Niebling. Almost crawling along on his knees. Last tackle now for Queensland. Lewis, up it goes. Anybody's ball. Jack jumps for it, it's loose, it's a try! Kerry Boustead is there! Kerry Boustead has scored for Queensland. And it's a mistake from Gary Jack. Pinpoint accuracy, the kick from Wally Lewis. And that man, number 2, Kerry Boustead, touching down. Here's that kick again from Lewis. Making it very difficult for Jack. Almost hitting the crossbar. He went up. I thought he almost had it, but Boustead with open arms, touching down for what was a very simple try, Jack Gibson.
Well, it looks simple to start with, but then to have a bomb with such accuracy, you've got to be in a good field position to execute it. And when I went up with all those people there, it was just a free ball whoever got it. And Queensland, being in position, made, well, looked like making 6 points out of it.
Now Meninga, a very simple conversion. Queensland 10, New South Wales 6. Well, we're back shortly.
New South Wales in possession right on the halfway line. Groth brushes off close pretty easy, but Miles comes over and wraps him up, but very cleverly he stays inside. Sterling, this is Young, and Niebling doing a lot of tackling already, Jack.
No, he's strong on defence and hits hard. He's good.
Kenny with a juggle. Gary Jack, a dummy half. Sterling turns to backside for Ella. Taken by Dowling underneath. Fullerton Smith over the top. Thompson. Sterling. Kick. High kick, everybody underneath it and waiting. Comes back to New South Wales. Penalty, though, goes to Queensland. Well, that was a pretty obvious one, too. Jack, as a coach, what do you say when you see something like that that was as obvious as that?
Well, he had to react quick. He had to make a decision, and the ball jumped to him, and probably his hands grabbed it before he realised. You can't have a committee meeting at a time like that.
There it is. Offside, of course, and Queensland have the penalty. Lewis. Not searching for any great distance, making sure it goes out. Canescu gets it on to Dave Brown. Taken by Roach and Wright. The runners come in Fullerton Smith. Pearce doing a lot of work underneath for New South Wales. Canescu. This is Dowling. Canescu. Murray stepping. Caught this time though. Noel Cleal, the tackler. Dowling. Back with a Lewis pass. And they open him up again. A good pass, and Close puts it down. Loose ball. Meninga dives on it. Knock on though, so we'll have the scrum. Queensland certainly looking to throw the ball around, give it plenty of air. Sterling to feed for New South Wales. New South Wales ball. Penalty, New South Wales. Scrum screwing around. Waving Queensland back. It's a scrum screwing right around, Jack.
Yeah, but looking back into the players, I say up till now, Miles is the best Queensland player, and I think Pearce from Balmain has been outstanding.
Certainly has done a lot of defensive work. Ella now kicking for touch. That'll take play about a metre short of the 22. New South Wales with a chance. Here's Roach. Straight into the defence. Groth runs from dummy half. Groth and about 8 metres out from the Queensland line. Now can New South Wales score a try? Wright certainly getting involved early. Sterling. The runners come in. Roach crashing one. Roach, and he's very close. Look from the spin it. There it goes. Sterling dancing. Caught this time. Unloads a ball low. And a chance. Oh, and a beautiful defence from Queensland. Snapped it down. Frank Stanton up. Scrum will pack though through the knock on Bogie. That was close. Here it is again. Sterling now. Dancing, looking. There's the pass. Gary Jack. And a penalty out of that scrum has gone to Queensland. That loose arm from Wright. Well, he's certainly incurring a few penalties, the New South Wales hooker already, Jack.
Well, I think he's only stopped 2, but that's a fair average, I suppose, out of 6 plays.
Canescu. This is Dowling. Out of 1, Dowling. They come back and get him and put him down. Boustead, though. Boustead with some room to move. Defence comes through Pearce. Yes. What a beautiful tackle. Canescu. Murray. Lewis. This is Meninga. A floater out that goes loose. Picked up by Close. Close is certainly big and very keen to do well. Miles, a dummy half. Queensland work their way inside the 22 again. Niebling. Out through Murray. Dowling hits it up for Meninga. Gets it out for Boustead again. Dowling was inside but couldn't get the hands free. But still they raid away. This is Wally Lewis. He's in. Oh, Lewis is in again. He's done it. Skirted around the outside and then he's gone. And the crowd go mad. Queensland kept the momentum going. Lewis had a look, saw it on the blind side, dived over and does it every match. He's a clever footballer. Well, Jack Gibson, what a valuable player he is.
But the play before that, Gary Jack stood in the in-goal area. His tackles in there are useless. He had to come out and stop it. And he got tackled with 5 yards out. He went blindside Lewis, and well, he's an impact player.
Having plenty to say, Wally Lewis too, saying settle it down. Mal Meninga, right on the touchline, and about 2 metres out from the 22. There's the angle for you. That's as Mal Meninga sees it. Who's in now? Oh, it's a horror off the side of the boot. So score remains Queensland 14 leading New South Wales 6.
Ray Price laying down the law behind the line earlier to his side. The blindside defence of New South Wales, Jack Gibson, must be a bit of a worry.
Well, it'd be a worry if they had Pearson Price out of it at present.
Now, here's a bit of misunderstanding from Queensland. Miles bringing it out. He's been an outstanding form, Miles. Every time he touches the ball, he's almost making a break. And New South Wales desperately trying to pin the Queenslanders in this area. Here's Vaughton. No, it's not, it's Dowling. 11 metres out. Liebling. 14 points to 6. Queensland lead New South Wales. Dave Brown. Held by Young. Back with Lewis. Trying to get it past Gary Jack, but Groth is back there to take it. Jack is in support. Groth can't beat that tackle. Combined tackle of Lewis and Vaughton. Now it's with Jack. 12 metres short of the halfway mark. This is right. Queensland playing with a lot of confidence. This is Steve Roach. Canescu's ankle tap has brought him down. That's with Sterling. Cleal. Coming back in field. Last tackle for the Blues. Sterling. Finding Price. Price. Back inside for Sterling. Sterling's got support too in Pearce. Back it goes for Price. And Price is... Yes, he's just short of the line. So close. And a changeover of possession. Well, New South Wales golden opportunity, but using up the 6 tackles. Now, can we sort this lot out? It's Lewis and Price. Price is up, and that's Lewis. Well, so much for that jumper. Too hot for long sleeves anyway. Well, Jack Gibson, that was the closest thing that New South Wales will see before half-time, I would think.
Yeah, but probably the big play. Price put a big shot on Lewis, and he's no doubt he's got a problem.
Well, he certainly hit some hard, Price, and fair. They are a little concerned about Lewis out there. Now, Arthur Beetson, the Queensland coach, will be watching anxiously here, as Lewis has been directing the play for Queensland so efficiently. 14 points to 6, Queensland lead.
I think they should warm up a replacement. I very much doubt if Lewis will continue from here.
Well, he certainly hit the ground hard, Jack, and been shaking his head trying to clear it.
Well, he's standing up, and doesn't look too bad now.
It's pretty tough, Wally Lewis. Now, Queensland in the danger zone, trying to work it up. With 5.5 minutes to half-time. This is Dowling. 2 New South Wales props, Young and Roach, working together. Back for Miles. Gary Jack waiting for it. Straight into his arms on the halfway mark. It's a good run from Jack. He's taken play almost back to the quarter line. It's 5 minutes to half time. This is Young, Cleal, right on the quarter line. Now Price. Liebling and Vorton, the tacklers. This is with Thompson. Steve Ella. Inside the Queensland quarter and last tackle for New South Wales. Sterling, the bomb, hanging in the air, charging through after it is Kenny, but it's too big over the dead ball line. Play will restart with a tap kick from the centre of the 25.
Frank Stanton looking a little concerned. Arthur Beetson looking just as concerned. We'd like to take this opportunity to welcome the British Lions to Australia, watching this game live at the New South Wales Rugby League Club, getting an idea of the sort of opposition they'll meet in the coming Test series. Not done there, so the scrum will be formed. Four minutes remaining before half-time. This is Ella, wrapped up by Meninga. Score 14 points to 6. Queensland leading. This is Groth. Groth hurt too. He's down. Well, injuries abound here. Referee calls timeout. Kevin Roberts holding what appears to be a shoulder. Let's see it again. Here's Groth, goes in. I would say that's just a bump, Jack.
Well, funny looking bump, but he seemed to get a bit of knee in there.
Very Groth down, so an important, very important player for New South Wales. Oh, in a lot of pain too, Eric Groth. Have a look at his face. Trainer moving his shoulder. Frank Stanton will have a good look at the side at half-time, just minutes away. But Eric Groth very groggy indeed. New South Wales through right. Groth at dummy half to Sterling. Out to Young, looking for runners. That's Pearce. Fullerton Smith over the top, and Conescu helping too with Fatty Vorton. Thompson, Ella, switches it back to Cleal. Cleal unloading to Sterling. This is Pearce again, and they're inside the 22. Last tackle for New South Wales. Sterling chips it through, a grubber kick. Taken by Scott, though, just a couple of metres out from the line. 3 minutes remaining in the first half of this encounter. Brian Hetherington is warming up on the sideline for New South Wales. Queensland with the football. Fullerton Smith back to Niebling. Trying to work play out of the 22. Fullerton Smith again. Dave Brown. There's the kick from Lewis. Taken by Eric Groth, so it appears that that shoulder, no, he's holding the shoulder down. Still in some pain, but shrugging out of the tackle. Young. Sterling. No, it's Jack. Thompson. Conlon. Oh, misunderstanding. Then he ran into Jack, and Gene Miles has come up with it. Looking for support, but goes down with the ball. Bad mistake there from Conlon and Jack. Penalty has gone to Queensland for holding him. 2 minutes out from half-time. Let's have a look at that misunderstanding. Watch it again. Here's Conlon. Puts the ball up for Jack, and they run, boom, straight into each other. Right, tap now from Conescu. On to Lewis. Murray looking for the runners. Dave Brown will play it. Goose Price and I don't argue. Fullerton Smith from dummy half. And they've worked play up to the 22. Can Queensland score before half-time? Dowling out to Miles. Slips the ball away to Vaughton. Young and all the tacklers. Canescu. 1 minute out from half-time as Lewis puts one up for Meninga. Oh, pops it up too. This is Colin Scott. Looked to unload but couldn't. Sterling underneath him. Meninga running at the line. 8 metres out. Meninga still going. Ella doing a lot of tackling for a little man. Niebling. Up it goes from Lewis. Right at the post again. They go up for it. And New South Wales taken by Gary Jack. Oh, those kicks from Wally Lewis are deadly.
No, again, he's put it up there, and every time he puts it in the air, he's given the Queenslander a chance to make some points.
Noel Cleal will take the drop from under the post for New South Wales. Taken by Fullerton Smith. .32 metres out, Queensland. Canescu, there's the half-time hooter. Lewis will take a drop shot for goal. It's high. And it's there. Lewis has done it again. And Queensland going at half-time with a commanding lead. 15 points to 6. The magic of Wally Lewis. Snaps 1 point as the hooter went. Here it is, the snap goal. Oh, a long way out, 32 metres out. Look at the height he got. And deadly accurate. And there it is. Penalties, Queensland 6, New South Wales 5. In the scrums, Queensland 2, New South Wales 4. Queensland 15 leading New South Wales 6.
Welcome back to Lang Park, where Queensland have possession. Kick-off has just happened, and this is Murray. Now, New South Wales have made one change. Eric Groth, who was injured just before half-time, has been replaced. Brian Hetherington is on the wing. Now this is Lewis. Back inside for Niebling. In fact, Hetherington is playing in the centre. And Steve Ella has gone out to the wing. Here's Lewis. Picked up, but a penalty has gone to Queensland. Yes, well, Lewis was interfered with after he kicked that ball, and referee Roberts has given the penalty to Queensland. What do you think of that, Jack?
Well, that's what you call a juvenile penalty. Like this, 30,000 people, everyone saw it.
Yeah, including the referee, and he's given Queensland the penalty. About 20 metres in from touch. Just outside the right-hand upright. There you see it. Meninga, who's been kicking pretty badly, I must admit.
Well, he did put his foot out, but Wally Lewis done the theatrical bit of it, and naturally they had no hesitation.
Queensland already leading 15-6. Ray Price is wearing a new jumper. He's wearing jumper number 16. You remember he lost his other one earlier. The kick from Meninga is wide. Well, Meninga is in bad form. He's got no confidence at all. So the score remains 15-6, Queensland leading. There's Arthur Beetson, who must be disappointed with Meninga's kicking form.
Well, if New South Wales are going to make a comeback, they've got to do it now in the next 5 or 6 minutes.
Now we're with Colin Scott, the Queensland fullback, got out of the tackle from Jack. Price holds him. Recapping on the change in the New South Wales side. Groth is off. Hetherington into the side in the centre. Steve Ella on the wing. Ray Price in jumper 16 for the second half. This is Dave Brown. Out of one. Now Murray and Lewis. Not waiting for the fifth tackle, Lewis. He'll find Conlon out of position again. That ball rolling towards the touchline. And Lewis, well, what can you say about him, Jack?
Well, a game, the boy's got time. He's got time to operate. It's the mark of a champion.
Yes, he'll kick on the second, third, fourth tackle. If he sees the winger out of position, he'll put it over his head. Invariable or fine touch. Sterling has it at the scrum base. Oof, pushed back a metre or two by Niebling. Now Conlon. Queensland lead 15 points to 6. This is Craig Young. Caught by Vorton and Kinescu. Now Cleal out of one. Held though by Murray, Vorton, just outside the quarter line. Roach. But that Queensland defence driving them back. Last tackle signal for New South Wales. Sterling to Kenny. Doesn't see much of the ball, Kenny. And that's the second changeover. New South Wales unable to do anything in those 6.
Well, Kenny's certainly seen a lot of maroon jumpers.
Now Gene Miles. Dispute for possession. Kenny says he had it, but Miles hung on to it. Now it's Dave Brown. Just outside the New South Wales quarter line. It's with Murray. Queensland playing with a great deal of confidence. Here's Kinescu scurrying from that dummy half position. 15 metres out. To Dowling. Last tackle now for Queensland. Where's Lewis? Will he look for another field goal? He has it. No, it's a bomb. Ella out there for it. Up they go. Anybody's ball. Safe for New South Wales, though. Hey, gee, that Wally Lewis can put people under pressure, Jack.
Yeah, he's having a big night. There's nothing they seem to be able to do about it.
New South Wales will recommence play from drop kick. Noel Cleal will take it. Big kicker of the ball, and he'll want plenty of distance, and he gets it too. Taken by Scott. He's taken by Jack. Chris Close. Oh, belts his way out close too. Still going, the big man. And they're back inside New South Wales 22. Well, they seem to have more purpose with the ball, don't they, Jack? They seem to be using the ball better.
They're holding the ball for 6. And when they go into a scrum situation, New South Wales are tied for their defensive plays. So they get the advantage.
New South Wales will come up with the ball this time through Pearce, Thompson, Sterling. That's Price. Swiveling looking to unload. But still inside the 22, New South Wales. This is Wright. Oh, that's a bad mistake from Wright. Losing the ball. The opposition come up with it, but the penalty is gone. Trying to reap it out of his hand after he had it. That was Kinescu. Well, this is another penalty right in front of the post, Jack Gibson.
Well, that's frustration and inexperience. Gave that penalty away.
There's a young fella from the Newcastle Club of Norths. He said at the head of the telecast it was a big move from the coalfields to here, and he'd be feeling a pretty lonely boy at the moment. Meninga hasn't been kicking well. This one's right in front. Very little breeze. In fact, nil breeze. He only has to get the height and keep it straight, and it's got to be 2 points. There it goes. Oh, waved away again. Well, straight in front from the 22, and he's missed it. And look at the look on his face. It tells the story how he feels. Cleal, drop kicks from the 22. Colin Scott takes it safely. Queensland now inside their own half. This is Miles, Lewis, beautiful pass from Lewis again. Finds Niebling. Chris Close. Hetherington, the replacement player for Groth in 14. Mark Murray Switch of play. This is Fullerton Smith. Wright has been hurt there. He copped one in the eye. Tedescu. Lewis again chipping to the open spaces. Conlon drops back. This time it's too big. Wave back. Kevin Roberts having plenty to say as the scrum packs down. Scrums have gone 5-2 New South Wales way. This one's a win against the feed, so it's a vital one for Queensland as Murray takes it away. Remember, Wright had been injured just before that scrum. Tedescu giving signals to the blind side. Fullerton Smith. Tedescu. Murray. Lewis. Oh, they've put it down. That was Gene Miles, one of the few mistakes he's made. And right with the football. Dalcleo. Roach. Right. Craig Young. Ray Price. Slow motion stuff at the moment from New South Wales.
Well, they've been out of their half. They're out to be 10 yards, but...
There's a big hit from Wally Lewis on Pearce. He just crunched him. And they're going nowhere, New South Wales. Craig Young. Sterling. The kick through, the little chip through. Lucky bounce. Hetherington. Sterling. This is out to Kenny. 6 again. Ella. They do something with the football this time. Sterling. Look for the run around. Still going, Sterling. Almost to the Queensland 22. Thompson. Young. The runners come in. Roach. Unloads Roach. Oh, they've put it down again, though, New South Wales. Queensland ball. Wally Lewis. Hurt again, Lewis. Hurt again, Wally Lewis. The second time in the match. Here's the incident. There's Lewis and the hit, the grimace of pain. I think that's just aggravated that original injury. Certainly playing with a lot of courage. He took a tremendous knock. Bang, that was the hit. And Pearce, when he hits, Jack.
Pearce got a fight. A hell of a shot on him then. He got him off balance and kept him going.
Well, this will be interesting to see just how important Wally Lewis is to this side. Arthur Beetson's one man that's very conscious of that. He's getting up, and listen to the crowd when he gets up. Queensland's hero. Kevin Roberts blows time on. Fullerton Smith will play it back to Tedescu. Turns it back for Dave Brown. Craig Young, there's been a good duel between the two big props. Wally Lewis back with a kicking game again. Finds the open spaces. Ella gets it. And brings it back for New South Wales.
Well, the last time New South Wales won here at Lang Park in a state of origin was the first one back in 1982. And the way things are shaping up here, Jack Gibson, it'll be a little while before they win one here.
Well, they've got two things in their favour. They've got the scoreboard and the clock, because they're not going to play out there all night.
Queensland will like to, the way things are going. Here's Pearce making a bust up to the corner line. Flick pass inside for Kenny. And still keeping it alive. Here comes New South Wales. He's Wright. Wright will take the tackle just on the 10-metre mark. Now, what can the Blues do? Touched again, 6 more tackles. Sterling back inside for Cleo. Cleo slipping though, 5 metres out. New South Wales must score here if they're going to get back into this game. Here's Young. Young for the line. Held up though. Strong Queensland defence. Miles showing the way. Sterling. Cross to Hetherington. Now it's Price. Playing in jumper 16. Now back with Sterling again. The run around. Sterling. Nowhere to go. The defence too good. Now back with Thompson. Cutting out Kenny. And the knock on from Brian Hetherington. So, Jack, another opportunity lost.
Well, it's an advantage he knocked on, because at least they got some chance of getting the ball back from the scrum.
This Queensland defence is pretty well organised, Jack.
Well, they got plenty of ability along with it.
Queensland feed, but a penalty to New South Wales. And it's against Murray feeding the second row. Well, he had the feed and the loose head. So why would he feed the second row, Jack?
That was out of sight of my range. I don't know. I've only got to go by a referee on that one.
Well, now, the zip man, Ella. Held by Fullerton, Smith and Brown. Now here comes Young. They're only 3 metres away from the line, New South Wales. Wright shows it to Pearce. Pearce. And again, that maroon wall preventing him going any further. Back with Sterling. Now across to Thompson. Kenny. Back inside goes Kenny. Held by Lewis. Pass along the ground. Picked up by Thompson. 10 metres out. Steve Roach. Last tackle now for the Blues. Sterling calls for it. A kick through. He's impeded, I thought, but referee says no, we'll play on, and the Queensland side has it. Miles. Meninga. New South Wales defence standing back, waiting for the Queenslanders to come to them now. Through Dowling to Murray and Colin Scott. Just on the Queensland corner line. This is Niebling. Held by Pearce. Canescu. Back to Miles. Waiting for it is Gary Jack. That's inside his own quarter now. He's run 10 metres, 15 metres before he's put down. 15 minutes gone in the second half. Queensland lead 15-6.
Brian Hetherington crunched down there with a big tackle from Niebling. It's just right. Sterling. Craig Young selecting runners. It's Cleal. But Jack, this defence from Queensland, it's swarming, it's smothering defence.
Well, defence causes all upsets, and they're working at it real strong.
Craig Young to Wright. Wright going there. They were two bunched, New South Wales. Already the fifth tackle on New South Wales, and they've made about 10 metres. Sterling gets it out through Cleal. This is Kenny. Hetherington. Hetherington. Wrapped up by close, though, and Miles. That's the third changeover of the match. This is Chris Close. Ella hanging on to him desperately. And back they come, Queensland. Murray. And they're back in New South Wales half again. No, it's Dowling. Big man. Wally Lewis. Niebling. Dave Brown clears it off the deck to Lewis. Lewis with a chip and run. Taken by New South Wales, though. That's Pearce. Barrel down, but holds onto the ball. It's on the New South Wales 22. Gary Jack. Right. On to Young. Pretty stereo stuff from Young. Ray Price. Sterling. Thompson turns it back to Cleal. That's the 22 line you see, so that's how far they've gone in 3 tackles. Loose ball, handball back to Hetherington. Turns it back to Ella. Queensland's defence just moving around and picking off the Blues players. Cleal, Sterling, Roach.
Well, I think they're going a little better. Lewis, I think they can do something still.
This is Thompson. Nice kick from Thompson, finds the line. This takes play into Queensland's half. New South Wales keeping an eye on the clock. 22 minutes into the second. 18 minutes remaining. Arthur Beetson. Again, this time the penalty goes to New South Wales, and he's having a lot of trouble getting a tunnel, Kevin Roberts. And that's the second consecutive scrum penalty to New South Wales. Ella gaining some territory. And this will put New South Wales back on the attack inside the 22. Sterling takes a tap and gives it to Roach. Too slow, Conlon. About 3 metres out, right. It's all one out stuff at the moment. Very close to the line, look for the spin. Here's Sterling, slaps him, selecting the player. Oh, but caught. That's Cleal. That's 4 tackles gone. Sterling out to Thompson. Thompson with Hetherington. Hetherington trying to run some room. Oh, but pretty close to touch and taken by close. Ella. Sterling. Run around with Ella. Gets it to Young. Throws a wild one back, cleaned up by Thompson. This is Kenny. Kenny gets it to Price. Loose pass right. Gets it away to Roach. A chance. Noel Cleal. Noel Cleal's in for New South Wales. And boy, oh boy, do they need that one. Look at Frank Stanton says thank you. Oh, the fireworks go up and the Blues come back. Well, we needed this one. This is Ella. And Young, that was the loose pass. Came back to Kenny. Now Kenny straightened it up. Got it away to Price, and that was the nice pass. Got it to Wright. Pretty lucky for Wright. He got it away. Roach cleared it quickly. And there he is, the big man, and made sure he improved the position. That's good football. We'll be back in just a moment with all the action.
Here is the conversion attempt from Conlon, which was successful. And the scoreline, Queensland 15, New South Wales 12. We're live at Lang Park, and can the Blues come back from this? 3 points the difference. And a bit of scrappy play there has given Queensland possession via Canescu. There's 18 and a half minutes of play left in this game. This is Murray. It's 35 metres out from the New South Wales line. Liebling. Back with Murray. Now Lewis. Meninga. On it goes to Boustead. He's got a clear passage. Has he got the pace? Oh, he steps inside Jack and scores! Oh, what a comeback from Queensland! And Arthur Beetson breathes a sigh of relief. And Kerry Boustead has scored again for Queensland. 19-12. And is he a happy man? Here's how it happened. This was Murray, the pass on to Lewis, and Lewis's pass again to Meninga. Meninga's beautiful hands onto Boustead. He had a clear passage. Where was his opposite number? And Bowie saw the line, stepped inside Jack's tackle, not held, and over to score to put Queensland 19, New South Wales 12, back at Lang Park shortly. Mal Meninga's conversion attempt was unsuccessful. Queensland lead 19 points to 12. And Queensland in possession just on their quarter, and this is the replacement forward, Bob Linder, who is the form forward in Brisbane. Everybody that I've spoken of here has got a huge opinion on him. He's in to replace Greg Dowling. There's Dowling. Fine game this fellow's played. Bob Linder on to replace him now. And Pat Jarvis is on for New South Wales, replacing that man, Steve Roach. Here's Lewis. Back for Gary Jack. New South Wales have it all to do, and Roach, at least Jack, unable to take that cleanly, running around Linda with a beautiful tackle from Miles. Has pinned Jack down just outside his quarter. Queensland 19, New South Wales 12, as Pat Jarvis takes it up. 15 minutes of play remaining here at Lang Park. Price on to Sterling. Pearce. Out Sterling again. Young. Thompson. Cleal. Now it's Price. Now it's Cleal from dummy half. Trying to get it back to Jarvis, but that's no good. Finally, Jack picking up the dregs now on the quarter. Caught in a heavy hit from Murray. And Bob Linder over the top. Sterling putting it down for Boustead. No mistakes, Kerry Boustead. Caught though by Pearce and Sterling. It's 19-12, Queensland lead.
Meninga for Queensland now, inside New South Wales half. Out to Lewis. Two bunch Queensland. Lewis went with it and took some heavy punishment too. Craig Young having a bit to say. It's Brown. Jack Pearce has tackled his heart out for New South Wales.
Well, Lewis is the star, but Pearce has had a tremendous game.
30 tackles. Pearce is effective for New South Wales. That's a mammoth performance.
Wise gun, he's got another 30 to do.
Gary Jack takes it cleanly this time. Bob Linder wraps him up. This fellow, as Ian Marie said, good player. Ray Price. Linder again. Borton over the top.
Well, New South Wales very slow to reform, which certainly affected the Titans.
Sterling with a ball out. Juggled. Kenny puts on the pace now. He hasn't handled much, but he's still going. Kenny, they run him down from behind. Oh, some good defence from Queensland, but a good run. And look at Frank Stanton. Right, New South Wales with some momentum now. This is Ella. Out of one, Ella. Still going, but wrapped up this time by Colin Scott. Last tackle for New South Wales. Kenny, long pass from Sterling to Thompson. He puts it in the air. Plenty of chases for the Blues. They come through. Conlon gets it up, flicks it back for Cleal. Wrapped up though, Cleal. Oh, listen to the crowd. It's Wally Lewis that wraps him up, and that's the changeover. The fourth time in this match we've had a changeover, and what a critical one that was for New South Wales. They had momentum then, Jack.
There was a big chance to cross the stripe, but they failed.
This is Niebling bouncing around and getting up. Craig Young the tackler. Canescu. Murray. Dave Brown. And listen to the crowd. Wally, they're singing. Fullerton Smith. This Queensland crowd is something else. Big kick from Miles. Gary Jack drops it again. Oh, he's had a bad game, Gary Jack. Second time he's done that with no pressure whatsoever, Jack.
Well, I disagree. I think he's had a pretty fine game. He's cocked that ball up, but I thought he worked pretty hard, and he's come in there more.
Well, I tend to disagree. I think he spilled a bit of ball. But anyway, Queensland win the scrum, and it's right on New South Wales 22. Scrum screwing. Murray feeds. Queensland ball. They come the blind. Stab kick it. Conlon takes it. Unloads to Jack. Oh, it's a big defence. Hetherington to Sterling. Thompson. And look at this defence. They get Pat Jarvis. He gets it away to Pearce. Pearce straightens the attack up. Unloads it to Ella. and knock it on. It's pretty messy stuff from the Blues at the moment.
It's crucial if you lose that ball in the first play.
It's the scrums. 5-4 New South Wales leading. Murray. Lewis with a little flip pass. Back to Murray. Wrapped up by Kenny. He tries anything, this fellow. And it generally comes off. Colin Scott. And that's the 22 line you can see. Badescu. Murray. Lewis. Out to Miles. Lewis seems to have a lot of time when he does anything, this fellow, Jack.
He sure does. He's blew at that time, though.
The basketball stuff there.
New South Wales now with time running out. Trailing by the 7 points. Queensland 19, New South Wales 12. Here's Sterling. Across to Pearce. Sterling again, but look at the ground they've lost. And who's thrown him to the ground? Wally Lewis. Now Kenny. Chant goes up around Lang Park again. Wally. This is right. Last tackle for the Blues. Thompson. Hetherington. Now Conlon. Hetherington backing up. Can't beat that tackle of Boustead. Well, what can you say, Jack? Queensland's just too good.
I think New South Wales need an 8-point try. I don't know whether they'll have to change the rules.
Murray feeds. The scrum just inside the Queensland half. Penalty, New South Wales. And again, it's against Mark Murray. It's 3 straight penalties. And Kevin Roberts is even pointing to the dressing room.
Well, all in all, I think Roberts had a pretty fine game.
Now, 7 points still the difference. 8 minutes of play remaining. Sterling to take the free kick on the Queensland corner line. Oh, they put it down. Pat Jarvis gone without the ball. Goodness me, that picture tells it all. Now Murray to feed the scrum again. 4th straight scrum win. Arthur Beetson will start breathing a little easier now, Jack.
Well, let me say this. I hope they play as well for Stanton as they have for Beetson.
It's, of course, Stanton named as Australian coach before this match. What are your thoughts on that, Jack?
Well, that was preordained. That was a parochial decision. I don't think it even went to vote. They just decided to give it to Stanton, and that's what happened.
Comments from Jack Gibson. This is the last tackle for Queensland, and Miles putting it as far downfield as he can. Jack, that's on his goal line when he's taken it. Can't beat the tackle. Bob Lindner, who's done a power of work since he came on. Sterling. Oh, and Jarvis has put it down again. The second time that Jarvis has attempted to handle the ball, and the second time he's put it down. What can you say about that fundamentals, Jack?
Well, it's a simple case of fundamentals. You can say that again. He's running the football before he catches it. It's a case of getting the cart in front of the horse.
Now Murray and Lewis. He's only 15 metres out from the New South Wales line. Murray. 19-12. Queensland leading New South Wales. Scott, away it goes to Miles. He's in to score. How easy it is. G. Miles in for try number 2. And Queensland have wrapped it up. Well, Frank, I don't know what you can do. Just too good. Just too good. The crackers have gone off. The crowd's gone wild. And here's how the try was scored. Colin Scott in to make an extra man. Flicked the pass up for Miles. Pushed off the tackle of Price. And over he goes to score.
G. Miles, what a fine player he is. By G, he came up here and he's had some big raps. Ray Price, what a determined competitor he is, Jack, and he would be hating this very moment.
Well, you miss them occasionally, but that tries, all it's done is sent the crowd home. Queensland now just let the clock run down. And
Mal Meninga's kick, missed again. Well, bad night. Here it is again. Now watch this. Queensland just running the ball. Miles, strong, big, unstoppable from there. Well, we're in the last 5 minutes. Goes to Vaughton. I don't know what they've got to do to win one up here, but look, Stanton and Moore, very unhappy. It's been a great performance from Queensland. Linda plays it back to Kinescu. Dave Brown. Back to Murray, then on to Lewis. Lewis unloading back to Murray. Lewis kicking for line and finds it again. Well, the fellow can just look around this ground. He can put the ball on a 5-cent piece. Sterling feeds New South Wales ball. Gary Jack, driving tackle. Rake back again. Is there nothing the man can't do, Jack? He tackles, he rakes balls back, he kicks for the line. He's a complete footballer.
Yeah, he's had a big night, but he's got some fine backup players there.
Directing traffic, even in the last 5 minutes with a big lead. And that's a Queensland win again against the Head. 3 minutes to go. Miles. They're just running at will now, Queensland. Murray's had another strong game at halfback. Miles, a dummy half, goes from there. They're 2 metres out again. Can they score again? 4 tackles down. Kinescu. Out to Lewis. Looking for the runners in Dave Brown. Slips the ball away. Goes loose this time. Kenny clears for New South Wales. This scrum will pack 10 metres out from the New South Wales line. Scrums have gone 8-6 to Queensland. And there's been no excuses for New South Wales tonight. They've had plenty of proposition. That's another tight head win. Lewis. A little gap again. Back to Vaughton. Just taking the settlers. But they're hungry. They'll look for another one. Miles turns it back. This time no one there. Lewis handballs it back. Gets it to Niebling. 10 metres out, Queensland. Meninga from dummy half. 4 tackles gone for Queensland. Kinescu to Lewis. The run around, selecting Miles. And throws a loose one back. Handball again by Brown. Vaughton. Lewis is just handballing it back. If he can't take the pass, he handballs it. Again, he passes. Kicks for Boustead. Boustead takes it, and that's the icing on the cake. Boustead in again for Queensland, and that was off a Lewis kick. Well, they're starting to tear the fence down on the sideline here. They're going mad. This big crowd. Look at it. Up it goes. And we saw them rehearsed at a training yesterday, and Boustead's pulled it off. Three tries to Kerry Boustead. Sensational performance. Jack, we've seen them rehearse this move at training, and they've pulled it off again.
Well, they rehearsed it tonight, but tonight it counted.
Meninga with a conversion attempt. He's been kicking very poorly. 1 from 7 on the junction of the 22 and the touch, about a metre in from both. Up it goes. This one looks better. He's got it up this time. Well, look at the crowd coming out of the field. It's all over. There's the hooter. They storm on. Queensland convincingly defeating New South Wales 29 points to 12.